Hey everyone, this is Dr. B from Elate Orthodontics in Frisco, Texas. Today, we're tackling one of the most common and often misunderstood questions in orthodontics. That is, how much do braces really cost? Or how much, does orthodontic treatment usually cost? If you've ever searched on Google, you've probably seen everything from $99 a month to $8,000 package, and there's no wonder people get confused. So let's get real about what actually drives the price of orthodontic treatment in Frisco, and what's behind the numbers that don't always tell the full story. So let's start with who's treating you, because that alone can change everything. You see, there are many general dentists that offer braces or Invisalign or different other types of, aligners. While some handle simple cases well, orthodontists on average spend 2 to 3 years of residency focused purely on tooth movements and bite correction. Not to mention that after the residency, they spend their entire careers learning about occlusion, bites, how to treat complex and moderate or complex cases. So, and choosing an orthodontist isn't only the safer bet for you, it's often a more efficient and cost-effective choice. I as an orthodontist, practice in Frisco, Colony, and Prosper, and I get patients coming from local general dentists with, unfortunately, damaged bite, messed up cases where now need to be retreated. So in Frisco, orthodontic treatment typically ranges from $4,000 to $6,000, depending on your case, depending on whether you're doing traditional braces, clear aligners. But a lot depends on the practice that you should pick as well. And we're going to get into this in just a few seconds. All right, now that we have established that you need to pick an orthodontist for your treatment rather than a general dentist, let's kind of talk about the elephant in the room: corporate ownership in orthodontics. You see, there's been a huge wave of corporate groups buying local orthodontic offices across Texas. So it's not a Frisco-only problem, it's all across Texas, frankly, all across the country. The tricky part is many of them, they still brand themselves under the doctor's name. So to the public, it kind of looks like choosing a small locally owned office, but behind the scene, this business is owned and managed by investors, non-clinicians, private equity. And that's not always bad, but it changes the incentives. Corporate models, they often prioritize volume, cost control, investor returns over all the important stuff, such as outcome, relationship, and continuity of care. Not to mention that these corporate offices, they have a very high staff turnover, with the doctors coming and going, other staff coming and going. So the office loses its spirit. I give you an example of an office in Louisville, not too far from us, that was purchased by Smile Doctors. And since then, they've gone through 3 associate orthodontists. They've gone through tens of assistants in the past, I want to say 3 years. And we're getting applicants from those practices, all the time, because they're just unhappy. They see patients are not being taken care of. They're seeing that the staff are not happy. The team in those offices are not happy. So it is very important, and as a part of one of your early questions, you need to ask the office that, are you privately owned, or is your private equity backing? Ask them directly, are you guys owned by Smile Doctors? That's a big, private equity kind of a corporate, or orthodontic firm. Are you owned by MB2? That's another big one in Texas. If the answer is yes, thank them for their time and call elsewhere. Because again, you're dealing now with corporate dentistry. Now, let's kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the financial side of the orthodontic treatment. Now, one of the biggest variables to the cost of orthodontic treatment is insurance, whether you have insurance or you don't have insurance. If you don't have insurance, just ask the office you're calling to find out if they have any incentives or any programs for people who are not insured. Just to give you an example, for us at Elate Orthodontics, we have special programs For those who are not insured, we do have a special program to use state insurance because it does really help with orthodontic costs in the state of Texas. So we find ways to make it affordable for those groups. If you do have insurance, then you definitely want to take advantage of the full power of your insurance. So the first question is to ask if the orthodontic office that you've called are in network with their insurance plans. So you see, this is really important because being a network essentially means that this orthodontic practice have contracted rates with those insurances, which are oftentimes about $1,000 or $2,000 below their customary fees, the UCR fees, which you otherwise may encounter. Just to give you an example here, you call an office and you ask them, hey, do you guys accept my insurance? And the answer is likely yes in both case scenarios, whether they're in network or not. The office that is in network will probably have fees that are in $4,000, $5,000 range because of those contract rates, but the offices that are not in network will have fees in $6,000 or $7,000 range because those fees are not the negotiated rates with insurance. So being a network right off the bat saves you about $1,000 or $2,000 on average. Now, the second part is obviously each insurance pays a certain amount, usually about $1,000 to $2,000 toward orthodontic treatment, and that is your lifetime maximum. Meaning by waiting toward the end of the year or waiting for the next year to renew, those benefits are not renewing. This is the maximum you can get, for example, from Delta Dental for as long as you have Delta Dental. So it kind of works a little bit differently than general dentistry. So a combination of in-network benefits and your insurance benefits can oftentimes save you, $3,000 to $4,000, and you may end up paying somewhere between $1,000 or $2,000, from out of pocket, compared to going out of network or not having insurance, which is oftentimes more expensive. So I would say having a team of specialists who understand insurance and how to navigate them and how to maximize your benefits is really important. Now, the next factor that will determine the cost of orthodontic treatment is the scope of this treatment, whether if it's a limited treatment, whether if it's a comprehensive treatment. You might have had orthodontic treatment in the past and you might have noticed just a little shifting here and there, but it only makes sense for you not to pay the full fee anymore, if it's only minor shifting, and we get it, we get that, at this point you're looking for smaller outcome, limited outcome and shorter treatment. Hence, there are options where orthodontists may focus on more limited objectives and hence the lower fee. In our practices, we do have limited options, so-called retouch options, where we focus only on getting what bothers you the most addressed. And they're significantly more affordable than what a comprehensive treatment would have been otherwise. Now, very quickly, let's touch upon the aligners versus braces kind of conversation, because oftentimes we hear that, oh, my dentist said that Invisalign is not covered by my insurance. And this is just not true. Your orthodontic insurance or your dental insurance pays for a code, which is either limited treatment, comprehensive treatment, whatever that code is. And it wouldn't care if you've used braces, clear aligners, metal brace aligners of any brand. It doesn't really matter. So your insurance, if there are orthodontic benefits present in it, do pay for orthodontic treatment, whether if it's braces or aligners. Now, there are some practices that they charge a lot more for aligners. I would say this right off the bat, that for us at Elate Orthodontics, the difference is very small, if any. And the reason is, first, we do large volume aligners, so we have negotiated lab bills with the aligner companies that are more favorable. And also because we want our patients to choose what's best for them and matches their lifestyle better rather than what's more affordable. Because oftentimes, unfortunately, some of our patients have to pick what's more affordable than what they really want, So we're trying to bridge that gap so that it becomes a conversation about what's clinically better for them versus what their pocketbook can allow them. So if you go to a place and they tell you, well, we're doing braces for 2,900, you kind of have to wonder what kind of bracket they're using, or what kind of volume are they wanting to see in their practice. Or if you again go somewhere and they ask you for eight grands or 7,000, that is an outlier too. So you may want to, again, unless you really like that provider, you may want to consider looking elsewhere. So I would say in a nutshell, who owns the practice, who designs your treatment, who stands behind the results are the most important factors that will determine your investments in orthodontic treatment. If you want to learn more, you can always visit our website at elateorthodontics.com. You can book a free consultation. We sit down, understand your objectives, understand what brings you in, and come up with a custom plan which hopefully fits within your budget too. Now, we do have different ways of making orthodontic treatment affordable, and we can definitely discuss that with you during your appointments too. I want to thank you all for listening. I'm Dr. Kevin Baharvand from Elate Orthodontics, and I'd like to see you next time.